In this video, I'm going to take you through my 5 mistakes you do not want to be making ahead of your ACCA March 2026 SBL examination for the company Merceh Co. My name is James, and if you'd like access to my exclusive SBL notes you can see above me that have helped hundreds of students around the world to pass their examination, just click the link in the description of this video or click the link in my bio and you can have a copy yourself. I'm also delighted to say I'm affiliated and associated with Astranti, and they offer mock examination papers and pre-scene analysis packs designed bespokely all about Merceh Co. And again, if you click the link in the description of this video, you can check those out. And for pure transparency, as always on the channel, if you were to purchase anything, I'd be entitled to a small percentage which goes to supporting the channel. And as always, a massive thank you for all your support. Leave me any comments if you have any questions about the SBL notes. I will get back to you on there. Well, our first mistake you definitely do not want to be making is assuming Merceh Co is struggling financially on there. So what we're looking at here is if you go through the actual pre-scene notes, as you can see on the screen. Again, I'm just going through it as if I was you. You could actually go down to page 5 on there and you could see the industry challenges on the left-hand side. I'll even put my mouse on it for you. And you can see on there we've got a declining print industry, so it doesn't sound particularly very good on there. Lots of industry challenges that we need to replace, a loss of income on there. We've also got at the bottom about the magazine industry is in a state of continuous consolidation, so lots of takeovers and buyouts on there, and publishers or rights to publish particularly magazines occurring regularly. So lots of things going on, along with advertising income threats. So a whole variety of things, as you can see, face threats of advertising income arise out of advertisers being unwilling to pay for advertising in print-based magazines. And you kind of read it and go, oh, hang on, that doesn't sound very good for Merceh Co. But this is the key thing that will separate a student who is fully prepared for the pre-scene notes versus someone who isn't. If we actually take this in context and add some nuance to it, you can see on the right-hand side that, yes, granted, the revenue is flatlining in terms of 2004 to 2005. But generally speaking, it's been going up year on year. And nevertheless, I mean, 648 million in terms of revenue, that is still very, very good. As you can see from the advertising revenue, it's been increasing year on year. I've got it down at about $309 million on there. So again, really, really good. And the final thing as well, I mean, lots of students will see, as you can see on my notes with the little X on there for the operating profit. It's gone down to about 175 million, and in the last 3 years, it's been decreasing on there. However, in context, they've still got an operating profit margin in 2005 of 27% for it. So that's really good in terms of managing their actual costs and overall expenses. Most businesses would be very happy with a 27% operating profit margin. And we could get given on the exam day more information from competitors to calculate that percentage for them as well to compare and contrast. So definitely get that down in your notes. And finally, as well, just for context, that I mean, lots of students will overlook it. You can actually see on the company background there on the left-hand side, Merceh Co is one of the 5 biggest publishers of magazines in Darland as well. So my sort of overview for your notes to get down is overall in a strong position in Darland in the magazine industry, but I think strategically a bit exposed in how they're currently set up, and that is where it could link to a question on your exam day, and you've just got to make sure you've got the right context to discuss about Merceh Co based on the pre-scene material. So that is mistake number 1, not to make, assuming Merceh Co is struggling financially. Now, number 2 as well, linking into Merceh Co financially, and I've got down here, underestimating the size of Merceh Co and also the market size for information that we're provided with. So the first mistake students are going to make on here is if you go up to page 2, we're not given many figures in the pre-scene materials, but this is one you've definitely got to pay attention to. So you can see on my notes, and I'll just read it out for you, the total market size in Darland is about 8,000 million in terms of revenue on there. So this is all about the 5 biggest publishers of magazines in Darland have around half of the market. So of the market share, This is where Merceh Co is part of one of those 5 biggest publishers, and therefore we can actually maybe do some workings out on there. Now, when I read this through, I went, $8,000 million. That's the same as $8 billion on there. So same thing, but it's just making sure that you don't make the mistake of confusing millions with billions. And what we can do is we can take that 8,000 million in terms of revenue for the market and actually calculate the size based on the information we're provided with in the financial information on page 10. Now, how have I done this? Look on the right hand side. We're given the operating profit margin is 27%, and the operating profit margin figure for 2005 was 175 million. So all I've done there is rearrange the equation to say, well, if our operating profit is 175 million, if I divide that by 0.27, that is going to give me the revenue for 2005. And that is where, if you do the calculation, you will get 648 million. Whereas if we look at the revenue graph, that where my mouse is, it does look about 648 million. And therefore, as a result, I've taken the 648 million, divided it by the 8,000 million we were just provided on page 2, and that gives me a 8.1% market share for Merceh Co in 2005, which they are one of the big 5 on there. The big 5 hold 50% of the market share. 8.1% sounds about right. So again, it's just getting context of the sheer size of it. 8.1% is still rather large. We're not given much information on the competitors, but definitely a mistake that, especially with no information provided on the other competitors, don't make any assumptions on them. Be clear as to how you've calculated it and show those calculations if it is applicable to apply on the exam day to a requirement. But it's just so you have some context as to the size of the organisation, and just picture in your mind $648 million in terms of revenue for 1 year, and they are 8.1% of the market share. I think when you read it through, you kind of go, are they struggling? How big are they? So it just gives you some context. And do not underestimate the size of the organisation, because the SBL marker will read it through and go, have they really thought this through? So that is a mistake on there, number 2, not to make, underestimating the size of Merceh Co and the market share on there as well, linking it to it. Now, area number 3, mistake not to make, involves the governance and ownership structure. So what I think lots of students will do on page 7 is they will go to the ownership and the governance, and they will see on there, along with the board of directors, that on page 7 we're told there are 12 directors, 6 executive directors and 6 non-executive directors. Exactly the same for the board structure on page 8. And you're reading it and going, fantastic. It also has a risk committee on there, not required by the code. They're going above and beyond. And we can see on here, all of the NEDs fulfill the definition of independence given in the code on there. So in other words, they're completely compliant with the regulations on there for the actual regulator, the NMSA, I've highlighted in purple. So it all looks all good, all compliant, all fantastic. However, if you were to look at the ownership and the split of the shareholdings, the directors on there actually own 30%. So when we look at that, 30% is actual significant influence in the organisation. And I think some students might miss that as to, well, could that link into some form of dominance in terms of the directors taking the business forward in a direction they want to go versus what the institutional shareholders actually want? And it could link into conflicts and applying things like agency theory, where that's where, in terms of shareholder wealth maximisation, as you know, the shareholders, the institutional shareholders, want their share price to go up and their dividends to go up. Whereas the directors may actually be more inclined to operate the business so that they hit their bonuses and their targets, which may not be as sustainable in the long run. So again, could link into a sort of agency theory on there, and also give rise to a discussion about maybe undermining the non-executive directors. We're not really sort of told about their areas of expertise. Maybe they're going to overpower them on there, and basically saying that, are the directors incentivized elsewhere? And I think some students might just overlook that a bit and not sort of close their eyes and think, hang on, if I was to picture myself as one of the directors here, and part of the directors, 6 of them, they own 30%, they might have other alternative means that some students may not consider in their discussions. So that is my mistake number 3, governance versus the ownership structure, and looking at those split of the shareholdings with significant influence. Area number 4 now of my mistake not to make is what Merceh Co actually publishes in their magazines. Sounds pretty simple, but if you look at it on here, page 7, let me roll you to the top on here, I'll put my mouse on it. So there we go, mouse is on it now. We're told in the background that it was established 60 years ago with its first magazines covering home and lifestyle subjects. Okay, so home and lifestyle, remember those two. Now if we move on to page 8, and I'll put my mouse on it on here. So we're told Merceh is organised into 8 divisions reflecting the content of the magazines. So we've already been told home and lifestyle subjects. These include sport, lifestyle and computers. So we're given 3 actual subject areas there, but we've got 8 divisions. Each division has 1 main admin office and some have a few smaller offices as well. So if you're going to make any assumptions on there, it's one of the things as to, it's not quite clear as to, is it 1 subject per division, or as you can see on there, when they say these include sport, lifestyle and computers, are they across the whole of the 8 divisions, that maybe sport might be a bit bigger than lifestyle and have 2 or 3 divisions on it for it? Again, you've just got to be super clear as to, they may provide more details on the exam day, and this is where I think mistakes will be made, because if you go up to page 2 on here in terms of the products, and this is where again I'll put my mouse on it on here, so we can see the majority of magazines published in Darland relate to leisure activities and interests. So again, we've touched on those already, and this is where, including home, they've already mentioned it before, lifestyle, already mentioned it before, sports, already mentioned it before, and then we're getting into other areas, computers, not listed in our ones on there for Merceh Co. Computers definitely were, and then we've got some new topics of motoring, transport, music, film, television programs and celebrity news. So we've got 11 key areas, wider marking for the magazine industry, and that's where if you get asked on maybe something like a SWOT analysis, or maybe even you could link it into a Porter's pestle in some form or point, but maybe more sort of SWOT, thinking to yourself, well, what is it clear as to the definite ones that they actually produce, which are sport, lifestyle, computers, and then how it links into the 8 divisions on there, as to you've got other opportunities for a wider market and to create magazines, maybe for an opportunity to go into different segments on there. So if you make any assumptions, be super clear on the exam day and really process any other extra information, just bearing that in mind as to what they actually say they publish and the other topic areas. So that is what Merceh Co actually publish on there. So we're told sports, lifestyle, computers, home and lifestyle, along with those other areas they've talked about, and sort of getting a better, clearer picture on those 8 divisions as to how it is pictured to the marker. Now, area and mistake number 5 I've got down here, misunderstanding Merceh Co's digital/IT position. And you would assume large multinational organisation. Well, actually, I have to be clear on that. It's not multinational. It's only based in Darland on there. The reason why I say that, if you look down at the risks on here, they've talked about there being sort of issues of poor economic conditions and foreign currency changes. So one of the strategic options that you could look at is for them to expand internationally. But for that, they'll need some good IT and digital systems on there. And you would assume that they, as they say throughout the pre-C materials, they publish digital actual magazines already. We're told about analytics as well, that they're currently using on page 9. So if you look at the IT systems on the left-hand side, and they actually have their own platform as well. So it's been operating for a number of years. The revenue's been increasing. The only downside was the printed-based editions for the sales volume on there. That's the thing that's been going down. But overall, you'd go, oh, it's been going okay. But this is the key thing, especially from a pestle analysis, from a technology point of view. We're told on page 9 that they've used the same platform for years. Other points to link into that as to, it doesn't really tell us about any sort of maybe email marketing or email systems on there that they have, limited multimedia, so not leveraging social media as well. And to be honest with you, there's not really a clear strategy, and linking into the KPIs up above, it is pretty vague. The other key thing from the technical articles that are on ACCA's website for SBL is they love to talk about more topical areas like artificial intelligence, advanced analytics on there, linking it into strategy and a unique selling point. So again, all these sort of things as to if they want to expand or actually take some market share away from competitors or look at different strategies. And you could talk about operationally, what happens day to day, or strategically in 1, 3, 5 years' time. The IT systems, especially from a pestle technology point of view, will be definitely something I'd be thinking about. And the last thing where it links into, and this is where the mistakes we made because it goes from one area of the pre-scene to another, is you're going to need technology and the infrastructure for the likes of what you can see here on page 2. Some publishers offer extra content through a number of online channels. So it's having the infrastructure in place for this as to additional website material, new email newsletters as well, podcasts, social media. This is where you can leverage advertising on there and basically getting more eyes on your content. So this is where that has to be my mistake number 5, misunderstanding Merceh Co's digital and IT position. Some students might interpret it that they're doing very, very well, revenue's going up, but if you take a back seat on it and you kind of go and dig a bit deeper, I think it could be a lot better. And the other final thing to note down there are the risk of, say, cyber attacks or the actual data of the customers maybe being leaked. These are other areas from an IT and online perspective that I would definitely have in the back of my mind that I would want to relay in my answers on the exam day, because it is always a topical area that they like to throw in there and one you should definitely not underestimate. And that takes you through my 5 mistakes not to make on your ACCA March 2026 exam day. Let me know in the comments if you think those are right or if you've picked up any on any yourself. And if you'd like a copy of my pre-C notes, which at the time of recording on here, I'm still annotating, and hopefully when I've uploaded it to YouTube and TikTok and whatnot, you'll also be able to get a copy yourself. So check out the link down below, along with those Astranti mock papers and pre-scene analysis packs. And what I've done for you now is I've left another video at the top, so you can check that out, which relates to the March 26 exam. So thank you very much. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side now for another video.